You are now watching the Ball and Beats podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Ball and Beats podcast. Before we get into today's episode, please like, subscribe, and hit that push notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos. 2K Dilly is out of town for this episode today, but alongside me for this first segment, we have Aaron, Alan, and Spencer. And while we're at it, let's just quickly jump into our first segment of the day. Let's get into our football talk, shall we? As free agency is around the corner here, and we have a fun little game, I want to call it, that will be returning here for the next couple weeks. It'll be about free agency in each team, in each division across the National Football League, and what they need for this offseason. Let's get into that. So, I want to lead it off here. Let's go to the AFC East. Let's start off with the AFC East. And Aaron, you're starting off with AFC East champs, the Buffalo Bills.
I am starting off with the AFC East champs. I have about 5 things I kind of wrote down that I feel like they need to do or should. So the first one, to me, is obvious. There was a lot of talk last year about the whole Stephon Diggs. Is he the guy? Like, what's going on? They need to figure that out. They need to figure out, is he going to be their wide receiver number one, or do you trade him and try to bring in another person to be that wide receiver with Josh Allen and maybe run the ball more? Because Joe Brady started doing that a lot more last year when he got there as an interim OC, and now he's the full-time OC. Number 2, I might get a lot of heat for this. I don't care. They just need to either restructure Von Miller's contract or trade him. I don't think it was a good signing 2 years ago. He was 32 years old. They signed him for 6 years, $120 million.
That was not a good contract.
I don't know why you would give him 6 years. That means he has to play till he's 38. Don't know why you would do it. So I think you can trade him, get some picks, or restructure him, maybe let him go and have him go to a other Super Bowl contending team. And leading to that, I said, try sign a younger pass rusher to the younger deal. There's Brian Burns that might get franchise tagged out there. There's Josh Allen down in Jacksonville. Those are the 2 big names right now that a lot of teams want if you want a younger pass rusher. Number 4, I said get young in the secondary. Their secondary is a lot of old players. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Rasul Douglas,
Teron Johnson,
Tre'Davious White. He's actually up there in age. He's been getting injured the past couple years. They need to start getting a lot younger, either in free agency or the draft. And then lastly, it's just a fun one. They need to figure out how to beat the top quarterbacks in AFC.
Yes.
In the playoffs. Because they're either losing to Burrow or they're losing to Mahomes, and they just got to figure out how to beat them.
Yeah. Spencer, swinging it over to the Dolphins.
Yeah, so first off, I think the main thing is they have to learn how to win in weather that's not under 50 degrees. No, in all honesty.
I mean, you're right.
I mean, I kind of am, but I don't think it has to do with that per se. I think that this team just needs to get healthy. This team was decimated with injuries. I mean, they had Tyreek Hill from time to time who was getting injured, who he could have won MVP. He could have broken Calvin Johnson's receiving yards record if he stayed healthy. Their defense got decimated. I mean, you had Van Ginkel who got injured. You had Jalen Ramsey who wasn't 100%, missed half the year. This team needs to get a lot more healthy this offseason. I think they just need to rest. I think this is a pretty good team. I think that they could be up there with the Bills, and they were. They probably should have won the AFC East if it wasn't for that utter collapse of the Tennessee Titans that they had that one game. This team, to me, is the team to beat in the AFC East next year. I actually will have them as the favorites over the Buffalo Bills just because of the Bills with Josh Allen's contract getting more and more egregious. You know, they won't have enough cap space to, sign everybody, and their secondary is getting older, like you said. But another thing on the Dolphins, they need to add another young pass rusher, kind of like with the Buffalo Bills. I really would like Brian Burns on this team. I think either him or maybe a little bit older, but Jadeveon Clowney would be another one. He had a really good year with the Baltimore Ravens this year, kind of a resurrection year, and really got his career going. And Mazubuike, the Ravens defense, that's how you say it. Madubuike, yeah, that's how you say it. He would be another guy I would really like for this Dolphins team to add. In terms of the offense, for me, offensive line. This offensive line was decimated. Both their tackles got out early on in the season, and their guards were not very good. They need to either draft or they need to either sign a bunch of offensive linemen because Tua was running for his life at the end of the season, and they gave him no time to pass the ball unless he was playing against a very bad pass rush. Other than that, you got Tyreek Hill, who's going to give you a great chance to win games, Jalen Waddle, Tua Tagovailoa. You can say what you want about him. I know Dolphins fans are so mixed up about him, and a lot of NFL fans are. Tua's a good quarterback. Tua is the Dolphins quarterback. They already have contract negotiations ready to go for him, and I really think that this team can win with Tua. Mike McDaniel, I think they can win with him too. I just think that, they can't play in, 30 degrees. Well, actually, it was negative 10 or negative 5 in Kansas City. You're also playing up against the Chiefs, who didn't lose this postseason. But I think the Dolphins are set. I think they just need to make some minor setbacks, and I think they just need to get healthier.
Yeah. So, Alan, what do you think about the New York Jets?
Oh boy, what don't they need is the real question. But I gotta cut it down because don't have all the time in the world for that. So my biggest thing, I thought this last year, and I still think this going into next season. Aaron Rodgers is not the answer.
Ooh.
He is not, and I know people are gonna be like, oh, but he's Aaron Rodgers, MVP. He won with Green Bay. He's not gonna win with the Jets. I don't even think they'll make the playoffs next year with him healthy. I just don't. I just don't think that he was the.
Hot take more than anything.
Okay, so we'll get away from the quarterback situation for a little bit. I do think that they do need to strengthen their wide receiver room just a little bit. They could use one or two veteran wide receivers, I believe. I know they're not going to get Mike Evans. I actually think he'll stay in Tampa Bay, but I could see a Mike Evans on this Jets offense to help out. And then on the defensive side for the Jets, they do need some help in the secondary, but what they really need is their run game. So I would say they need some more linebackers because that's what I've noticed. Yeah. Their linebacking core, it's not good.
It's one guy.
It is one guy.
It's C.J. Mosley.
C.J. Mosley, yes, it is.
And then the secondary is just sauce.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think with the Jets as well, they had a decimated offensive line last year.
Yes, they did.
It was not pretty, and I don't see Mekhi Becton staying with the Jets this offseason. I think he's going somewhere else, and actually that's going to lead me into the New England Patriots here. Patriots need a lot. Let's be honest here. No more Bill Belichick. You have Gerard Mayo now as your head coach. I think that we're going to talk about the quarterback position. Mac Jones, I do not think will be there another year. However, I don't think they attack the quarterback position in free agency. There's only one name I could think of, and that would be Kirk Cousins, depending on what happens in Minnesota. I would expect the Patriots to go the draft route. So really what I think they'll attack in free agency is the wide receiver market. You have a good amount there. You have T. Higgins from Cincinnati. You also have Tyler Boyd from Cincinnati as well. I think T. Higgins is probably going to get that franchise tag, though. Yeah. So I would probably scratch him off for New England. Next guy I look at, Mike Evans from Tampa Bay, you brought up. Why not go out and try and get a splash like Mike Evans? Bring him in for that future of your franchise. I could see Calvin Ridley if he doesn't get tagged in Jacksonville. I could also see maybe Slant Man down in New Orleans, Michael Thomas, as an older vet. They need something at that wide receiver position. And badly. They haven't had a good one, and they let their best one go in the last 5 years go off to Vegas and Jacoby Myers. So another position is the tackle position, and I think they're going to lose Trent Brown in free agency. I do not see him signing back. The Patriots have $66 million in cap space, and they are not going to get their best offensive lineman back. I think he's going to get a massive payday somewhere else. And I think they're going to look for guys like Jonah Williams, Mekhi Becton from the Jets. They need to re-sign another guy. That would be Michael Winwoo. He needs to stay with the Patriots. And they also need linebackers. They need a lot. Yeah. They have some older guys still, but there's two of them that are free agents this offseason. I could see them getting guys like Jordan Brooks from Seattle. I could see Devin White maybe. I don't see him staying in Tampa Bay. That Tampa Bay team they need to pay everyone on that defense this offseason, and they are not going to have the money to keep everybody there. So those are two guys in particular, I think, for the Patriots. But now on to the next division. We're going to go to the NFC side, and we're going to go to the NFC East. I'm going to start off here with America's team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, my gosh.
Are they America's team?
No.
That's the big question. I
Not
think we all know the
anymore.
answer.
Why would America's team? Everyone hates America's team. Then I guess I think America's team would be the Detroit Lions.
Yeah,
'cause
I
they're,
have
you
to
know,
agree.
Technically, I
Everyone
feel like
loves
I just had two America teams right there. You had the Patriots and the Cowboys. But
That's true.
the Cowboys are an absolute cap hell. They are $19 million over the cap limit right now. Their biggest need, restructuring that Dak Prescott contract if they can, because it's
It's a
not
great
helping
Restructuring.
out.
It
He's
is
only got 1 year
egregious.
left.
I know he's
Yeah,
got
He's
one
about
year
to
left.
get one.
And he wants and I saw a report. He wants $60 million. He wants to reset the quarterback
No
market
one-
If they
again.
thing is, if they want to keep everybody that they have, because they have about 4 corners on the free agent market that was really good depth pieces for them this year. I think that's the one area that you could see them go after is the cornerback position, specifically cheap ones. Adoree Jackson comes to mind from the Giants for a rivalry. Maybe a Jeff Okudah in Atlanta. Some kind of depth pieces at the cornerback position.
Yeah.
But if Dallas really wants to win, you know what's the biggest offseason move they need to make? They need to have Jerry Jones no longer be the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's not happening.
Because if
That's
they
not
want
happening.
to win, it won't happen. No. But if the Dallas Cowboys want to get back to their ways of winning, Jerry Jones needs to hand it over to somebody else and he become the owner, because they are too focused on becoming the richest organization in sports history and not
They're
about
on their
hoisting
way.
Lombardis. So to me,
are
that's got to be
certainly
the
on their
biggest
way.
move they got to make. And Jerry Jones, if you want to win again, you need to give that up.
Yeah, and I think Micah Parsons' deal, doesn't he have to get an extension soon?
He's
Yes, he
I
did.
They
think
have
isn't that
lots
him-
of players
him and
coming up.
CD.
Him and CD Lamb. I was
Yeah.
going to say, and a lot of players that they need to re-sign.
Well,
Over,
you know,
over
Jer-
to the disappointing Eagles.
Yeah.
Allen,
Oh,
what do they
my
need to
goodness. Defensive. It's more defensive than offensive, because offensively, you know, you get a tush push and you're good to go. But you, I mean, you also
It's
have
only
heard,
good move. It's all they do.
Yeah.
I mean, it works out. I mean, maybe they should trade AJ Brown. Just kidding, unless he's a Lion. But you know, their secondary this past season was okay. I wouldn't say it was awful. I mean, their defensive play was good. Their pass rushing is what really bothered me a little bit. At the beginning of the season, it was good. They had a good pass rush, but towards like the middle part, and then especially at the end when they started losing to teams, it was like their pass rush almost went away. It was like,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing? And I think that I think that they actually should have traded for Chase Young. I thought that they
That
would've.
wasn't gonna. They were not gonna trade in division with Chase Young. They were gonna send him somewhere else.
I
But
thought they
you're right.
would've.
They would not trade him to a team they face twice a year. No, just not
Well,
happening.
you know, we traded Hawkinson to the Vikings, so you know what?
That
It's
is
a
true.
possibility.
That is true.
That's just
Yeah.
the
Now
spy
we have the
does.
better rookie tight end.
Yeah, exactly. But I just thought that they would have gotten another, like, an actual young pass rusher that could really have helped out at that time, but they didn't. So I think for free agency, you're gonna have to reevaluate that whole situation. And me personally, I do think that they should bolster their offensive line just a little bit. Your tush push shouldn't be your only option. And
Yeah.
I do
That's
believe
fair. It's,
Oh, yeah.
like if you look at it, if the ending of the season, like the second half, they were doing the tush push and it didn't work a few times. That Tampa Bay playoff game,
Yeah.
they did it twice
They
and
figured
didn't
it
work.
out.
It helps
Yeah.
when you have Vita Vea as a defensive
Fair
tackle.
enough. Yeah, but I mean,
but it seems like teams at the end of
But-
at that point were
I think the
figuring it
biggest
out.
piece you're missing. They need someone to replace Jason Kelsey.
That, and then also Lane Johnson's up there, getting up there in age as well.
I think they keep Lane Johnson for at least another year. I don't think that
Jason
they
Kelsey isn't officially retired.
He's not
He's
officially.
not officially
but
tied,
it
but
will-
them two
I
are
think
up
we.
there.
I think
You
we
think
expect
he
it.
is? Okay.
I think we all expect
Another
him to
big thing
retire.
I
is, you
think I think if they're gonna go get another center, I do think it would be in the draft, unless they can find
Probably.
a cheaper version in free agency. But
Well, you lose a lot when you employ Matt Patricia.
That-
Shout out that lovable loser. All right.
Shout
You're
out
right.
to that Spencer. Over to the Giants.
So the New York Football Giants. So they have a lot of question marks coming into the draft, especially I think, and I think that's where they're going to make most of their moves. This Giants team, in my opinion, if I was Joe Schoen, if I was their general manager, I would blow it up. I'm not kidding. I'm not anything of that. I would get rid of Daniel Jones. This
I
offense
agree
sucks.
100%.
This offense is terrible. Their defense actually did not play all that bad at the end of the season.
No, it was good.
And they have a few pieces on that defense, but it's nowhere near what it needs to be. But this offense, Daniel Jones has to go. This offense needs to be run by Jaden Daniels. I think he would be a perfect fit for the Giants. I think he would really fit with that offense, and I think they would make an explosive New York offense. Saquon Barkley's gone. They got to find a running back. I think they can draft one of them. You could maybe get a Blake Corum in the second or third round. I think that would be. This Giants team can make a lot of leeway in the draft, in my opinion. They need to get younger, and obviously they paid Daniel Jones all that money. I don't care. He's not the answer. He sucks. He can't. He had one good game, and it was against the Minnesota Vikings, who were a fraud last year in the playoffs, and they lost the next week at Philadelphia. So in my opinion, the Giants need to go younger in the draft. They need to go especially on the offensive line because their tackles blow. They are very, very bad. Evan Neal, not great.
Well, no, Andrew
Not
Thomas
great.
is actually like a decent tackle. He
Andrew
just needs
Thomas
to
is
be-
good.
yeah, he
Evan
just
Neal
needs-
sucks.
Yes.
Yes, Evan Neal's bad. Andrew Thomas was a top 4 pick. He was supposed to be a stud. He's not been. He's been a solid tackle, but he hasn't been anything special. But in my opinion, you trade Daniel Jones away. You do anything you can to restructure his deal. You go get Jaden Daniels, or you go get a top quarterback. Go get a young running back because Saquon's leaving, and just revamp this offense because it is stale. I think the defense is fine. You can add a few more pieces. I think they need to, especially on the defensive line next to Dexter Lawrence. But other than that, this team, the offense is the big question mark because they can't score. Daniel Jones is not their answer. So
Yeah.
I agree.
And Aaron, to the last place team in the NFC least, Washington Commanders.
Okay. So I have a few things. First thing is they need to utilize their cap. I think they have the most cap space out of every team in the NFL right now, and it's a really big number.
$77 million, I think, or something.
Yeah, I'd
like
say
that.
75
Somewhere
at least.
in
Yeah,
the high
it's-
70s.
High
Yeah.
70s, yeah.
I have a couple trades that I wrote down that I think the Commanders should do. One is either trade Deron Payne or Jonathan Allen
To the Cleveland Browns.
to get some
wants to play there?
get some picks. I didn't like it last year when they got rid of both of their edge rushers and they kept their defensive tackles when really neither one of the defensive tackle are known for pass rushes.
Yeah.
This is a game now in the NFL where you have to get to the quarterback.
Yes.
What you should have done was if you're going to trade Chase Young, trade either Deron Payne or Jonathan Allen, and then you pay both Jonathan or you pay one of the tackles, and then you keep Montez Sweat. Because we all saw what Montez Sweat did up in Chicago.
Phenomenal
Yeah.
in Chicago. After he signed that
mean,
deal, he was fantastic.
He was awesome.
He was the Bears' leading sack in the Commanders
Yes.
the
Yes.
entire season.
Yeah,
and the
he
Bears.
led 2 teams. Yeah, the Bears were getting hot when they got there, especially on defense when they got there. Like he absolutely changed that team. Utilize cap space. I said for like linemen because they were bad. If you want to talk
Seems like
about bad
everyone needs
offensive
linemen.
line, man,
Their-
Sam Howell
their
almost
O-line
broke a
is
record
terrible.
you don't want to break.
Sam Howell really didn't even play that bad
No.
for most of the season. He's just not their answer.
And then I said wide receiver 2 to go along with Terry McLaurin. Emmanuel Forbes was their first-round pick last year at cornerback. I looked up their depth chart on ESPN today. I don't even think he was listed on it as one of the corners. And you spent, I think, the 15th or 16th pick on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, you need
Not
to
great, Bob.
you
He's
need
not
to
good.
start developing that man.
Not good.
Because
Isn't that
Joey
awkward?
Porter Jr. was the second-round pick, and
Yep.
he's already
He was a stud.
CB1
He was a stud.
in Pittsburgh. And then lastly, this is my big one right here. I'm gonna look into campuses. They need to trade up to the number 1 pick and draft Caleb Williams.
Yes.
I've been seeing that
I
on a
agree.
lot of draft boards. I do
But
think that
they-
would be.
I don't
You
think.
realize how much they are going to have to trade to Chicago to get that?
I mean-
they're going to have to trade their
Okay.
entire future in order
Okay,
to
here.
get this guy.
Really? Oh, so you trade this year's second overall pick.
Yep.
You trade another first
Next year.
next year, then probably the second of that next year as well, and then probably another second the year after.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
So-
punting your future for
I'll
one
say this,
guy.
though.
You are, but you hired Cliff Kingsbury as your OC.
yeah,
The
exactly.
last time he got hired from college into the NFL, they drafted the guy that he recruited when he was a college coach,
I
and then
understand.
now he was coaching Caleb
See,
Williams
I
last
I
year
just
at
don't
USC.
think that changes them. I don't think that fixes the problem. I get what you're trying to say.
Does
the
it fix
problem
the problem in Chicago, though, either?
I think
I don't know. Well, Chicago can't develop a quarterback.
No, they
I mean,
can't.
they had
It's
a
Chicago.
very talented quarterback. They didn't do anything with.
But then
What thinks that they're going to do something else with another highly generational quarterback? We've heard
Yeah.
this before with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
How did he
exactly.
work out?
Yeah.
Spencer, I don't think you want to talk about Trevor Lawrence after
Yeah, I
your-
picked the Jags to win the Super Bowl.
You had
I was a terrible thing. Yeah, I was. Yeah, not great, Bob.
I agree with Spencer in that regard in terms of Caleb Williams. I think we saw Kyler Murray go to the Cardinals because of Cliff Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm.
What has he done? Give me something that Kyler Murray has done in this
got
Kyler,
paid.
I will say this, looked better in the last few games of the year, but
Still, that's
yes.
still my point. They got him so then he could get Kyler Murray. They got Kyler Murray, but they didn't do anything. So what's the So what? That's the difference. Caleb Williams is not. I don't think he's gonna be that big of a difference maker. If it's Kingsbury.
Washington needs something. Regardless.
Washington needs a
They-
lot, though. That's the
they-
problem is they need
Yeah.
a ton. Like, they need a running back. Brian Robinson was great. I don't think he's their starting running back for years to come. They need to revamp their defensive line again because they traded two of their best pieces. Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen, they're not happy because all they do is lose in Washington.
exactly.
And their secondary sucks.
Yeah.
Their entire defense sucks. That's the reason why I wouldn't trade your entire future for one guy because it doesn't fix the defense. I mean, you can look at some of the pieces in free agency that you can get in the secondary, but none of those guys are going to completely revamp it. I get what you're coming from, but, I mean, it would be a Commander's move to trade up and, risk everything for one guy, especially Caleb Williams. And they would have to trade a lot to Chicago. The Bears have already made that clear. I wouldn't make that move, but that's why they make the money, and that's why I make nothing.
Absolutely.
Hey, you're right.
Since you're talking about the draft, the scouting combine is next week.
Yep.
Some of us here will be in attendance for that. So that is going to be a lot of fun. However, I want to ask, who do we think is one guy at the scouting combine that is going to climb up draft boards because of his performance? I want to start with Allen.
I think it's gonna be Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama?
I do think Kool-Aid McKinstry is gonna be the one to do it. I know everyone talks about all the other ones, especially Quinyon. I know, shout out Toledo player, but he's already projected top 15 for Quinyon. I think McKinstry can climb just as high. I do think that his draft combine is going to go a lot better than what some people are saying.
Originally, he was cornerback one in this class coming into this season.
Yes, he was.
And it's kind of dropped down a little bit. I could see that
I
happening.
His own teammate jumped
I was
him.
looking at draft boards yesterday, and I saw on one draft board, they actually had him in the 3rd round. And I was like, there's no way that he's dropping that far.
No.
I have no
way.
That's
There's no
crazy.
way he makes it out of the first.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that one was what shocked me. Cause I'm like, how do you have him going from a 1st rounder to a 3rd rounder?
Yeah.
So I do think that he'll be one of the bigger climbers and going into the combine and going into the draft.
Okay, let's go with Aaron.
I have an offensive player. I have a running back from the Big Ten named Braylon Allen from Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
feel like
I like that one.
he had it almost like we didn't talk about his season last year.
No, because we were too busy talking about Michigan winning.
Yeah, I know. Blake Corum, all he does is run 5-yard touchdowns. Okay. So Wisconsin,
Wow, some strong feelings there.
he had 181 carries, almost 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. All 3 years as a starter, he's had double-digit touchdowns. He's had 1,200 yards rushing seasons. I think, especially how you just saw Jameer and Bijan get drafted in like top 12 picks, I feel like if Braylon can show out, I feel like his stock is just going to skyrocket now.
He was a beast at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's had
Yes.
great luck with running backs recently.
They have.
So, I guess I'll go next with my
All right,
guys.
Spencer, let's hear it.
So I have two. I told them earlier. I really think Quinyon Mitchell's going to go up in this draft. I know I'm a little biased. I know we're here at Toledo. This dude is a beast. We saw him in first person. We saw what he can do. This guy's the next Sauce Gardner. I truly believe this. I think he's going to be an absolute star in this league. He's going to be, first player since I can't remember the first round pick that Toledo had. It's been
Chester Taylor, I think.
It's been
I
a
may
long-
need to research that, but I believe Chester
It's been
Taylor
a long
was the
time.
last
Yeah,
one.
listen,
I'll say, yeah.
But Quinyon Mitchell is going to have, I think he's going to have a heck of a combine. And I'm very excited to see where he laughs. Detroit, you better pick this guy. Another one that I think that, his guy was kind of up there, but he's fallen off a little bit. Jared Verse. I think Jared Verse from Florida State is going to be
love
one of
that.
the best defensive players in this draft. He was an absolute beast at Florida State, and I know they had all the problems when, they got injured, Jordan Travis left, and they kind of derailed their season. Well, it didn't kind of, it completely derailed their season. This dude was force on the defensive line, and I think I really think he's going to be a top 10 pick. I've seen him falling off a little bit, and I don't understand why. Another guy, Brock Bowers, has fallen off a little bit. I've seen him in the late 20s and like
this
all
is
this
that
stuff.
time frame. This is that time frame where you
this
see
is the
those
time
guys.
frame where you see this.
Yeah.
But Jared Verse, I really think he's going to be a top 15 pick. I love Jared Verse and Quinyon Mitchell's. These guys are beasts.
Yeah, I think Jared Verse is probably the best edge in this class.
Yes.
I fully agree with you there. This one's for a man in our control room. I'm going quarterback, and I'm going big. Give me Bo Nix from Oregon, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Bo Nix.
That is.
I think he's the most durable quarterback in this class. He's the most improved quarterback in this class. He was really close to winning the Heisman Trophy this year. I think he is going to show off his arm talent in Indy. I really think Bo Nix is going to be that quarterback to climb up in this draft class out of all the ones. You have J.J. McCarthy, who people think are going to climb up. You have other guys. You've had Jaden Daniels coming up. I do think Jaden Daniels will go high. I think Bo Nix is going to go much higher than people think.
I can't trust Oregon quarterbacks.
Justin Herbert.
He's mid.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Say
All
that.
right.
Yeah,
I guess
what
we're-
has Justin Herbert done?
That's
Have
all
you
right.
seen his team?
Okay,
What has he done?
We'll get
I
into that later.
We'll get into that later, that's for sure. But that's going to wrap up this football segment. I will be leaving. Christian will be joining here for a basketball talk, all-star break, and maybe some drama from the dunk contest. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Ball and Beats podcast. While we are at a break in the action, this is the perfect time to go to ballandbeatshop.com. You can use star Toledo basketball player Dante Maddox Jr.'s custom discount code. You can use his discount code Dante21 for 21% off your entire order at the Ball and Beat shop. If you love B&B, then don't leave Dante and us on Do Not Disturb. Back to the show.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ball and Beats podcast, as we are going to transition into our basketball segment of the show. And we just had the NBA All-Star break, and it was a heck of a game. I think it was, 211 to 184 was the final score.
Yeah,
It wasn't
211 to
even a real
186.
basketball game. But I got to ask you guys. So first, I want your thoughts on what your takes from the All-Star game are. And two, if they need to fix this, in my opinion.
They do.
Because it is getting completely out of hand. You got players who are not caring in the second quarter, just throwing up half quarters. Shout out Giannis. Shout out Luka Doncic. And it's not watchable. Like, it's just half court blitz after the second half. And I want to get your guys' takes on that.
All right. I will say for answer your first question, is it entertaining? Yeah, it was. Did I think it was good? Kind of. But my biggest concern, which is going to lead into what needs to fix, I get it. It's a break. You don't want to get yourself hurt. And it's called a break for a reason. The only thing is a little more competitiveness, I think, would make it a lot better. Because if you can turn into at least, I'm not saying that you need to make it like a 50 to 40 point game, but you know what? Maybe play a game of horse, or maybe, play a game of 24 or 21 like they did in the bubble. And just make it a little more competitive. I think the competitiveness is what makes it interesting, instead of watching people, like you said, throwing up half court shots every chance they get. And it's I get it, it's a break, but I also don't want to keep watching you throw up a half court shot, because then I'm just going to get bored.
It was ridiculous, in my opinion, but I'll get that in a little bit. Aaron, what were your thoughts?
So the actual game itself, I really don't know how to react to it, because like you said, it was a lot of three-pointers. I think combined, I saw it was some crazy stat, 100, and I don't remember. I know the East took almost alone over 93 pointers. Mm-hmm. The East team took over 93 pointers. That is insane. The fact that we're just shooting that many 3-pointers. Because I remember the All-Star game, even when it wasn't really competitive, it was still all dunks.
Yeah.
That's all we saw.
And they weren't even
really
threes. They were all half quarters for the most part.
Yeah.
They just showed up in the box score as threes.
Yeah.
But Christian, what would you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree that something about this weekend, something about especially this game, needs to change. I think we can all agree on that. What that change is, I think that's a little bit more up for interpretation. For me, I think, like Alan was saying, you do different game modes, like a 2-on-2, a 1-on-1, because I think that the biggest problem is people just don't care, and they're just hiding on the court. They're okay, I'll chuck the ball up here, maybe I'll pass the ball, whatever. in like a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2, there's nowhere really to hide on the court. You can't just like do nothing. You need to like compete. I think in a more intimate setting like that, I think that's where players would bring out their more competitive side.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think my opinion on the whole thing is I think it's a joke because players are not caring. You're having fans boo the MVP when Damian Lillard was awarded the MVP of the All-Star game. And even then, when you have things like the three-point contest, I thought that was kind of cool, with Sabrina Ionescu and Stephen Curry. I think that was a great battle. Yeah. But my problem is the dunk contest.
Oh, my. All right.
Okay,
all right.
so here's my thing. I don't know if I sound old. I'm only 20. I think the dunk contest is a joke. I think that you've seen all these dunks. Every dunk that these players have done, you've seen them. And you're having guys I have never heard of dunk the ball. Who is Mac McClung?
Yeah. Hey, don't.
Nobody knows because he's playing in the G
Hey,
League.
don't disrespect the back-to-back defending slam dunk champion. Come
Oh,
on.
I'm sorry. He's gonna have a great time, at Raising Cane's, where his job's gonna be in a few years. But in my opinion, like, what's the point? You need to have guys who actually play in the NBA on the dunk contest. And I know you had Jaylen Brown.
Okay, don't.
But he didn't even have any good dunks.
Yeah. No,
okay.
He
He
had
didn't.
terrible
Let me-
dunks. He looked like he was, making business decisions on this stuff. And I think that's what most of these players are. And that goes into my next point. I think you need to pay these players.
Yes.
I think you need to pay these players because then they will actually care
Here's my thing.
about the outcome of
They
the game.
would
Yeah.
because here, Jaylen Brown, and this is what bothers me the most was his Kai Cenat dunk. This dude is already short.
This dude's like 5 foot. He's like 5'1". He's shorter than me.
And then you sit him down in a chair. I could jump over him sitting in a chair.
not gonna
We all
Remember when they
could.
used to dunk over cars?
Yeah,
when they would dunk
exactly.
over the Orlando, mascot. Shout
yeah,
out Aaron
even-
Gordon,
but
the
the thing
last good dunk contestant.
I was talking to some friends last night, and I said, you know what? It's called the All-Star Weekend, but in that dunk contest, Jaylen Brown barely looked like a star.
Mac McClung's apparently an all-star.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe in the G League because all he can do is dunk. And that's all they've shown. And I think that's the biggest problem with the NBA is these players don't care about the NBA All-Star break. You had Anthony Edwards basically come out and say, this is just a break for us. We're just having fun out there. And I think it's all
he
for
was
having
shooting
fun.
left-handed.
Yeah, and I think it's all for having fun. But, you think about, they went to Indianapolis. Indianapolis does not have a lot, but they had the All-Star game. And that meant a lot to them because the Indiana Pacers, basketball means a lot to that state and to that city. And I think that it kind of was a joke that you had people, you had Ernie Johnson, saying, oh, it's Indiana, all this stuff. And you had fans making fun of it. I don't agree with that because, yes, it's a small market, but it's boring to have it in Chicago every year, in New Orleans every year, in
Miami.
LA every year. No one wants to have it in the same big city because those cities don't care about basketball. I just don't agree with it. And my biggest problem is the dunk contest because they throw some actual NBA talent out there. I don't care about some dudes that got drafted 5 years ago that are making living because they won the dunk contest. Mac McClung has made more money winning the 2 dunk contests than he will in his entire life as an NBA player because he won't make the NBA because he sucks.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I got it. You gonna go?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I do agree with you in that regard, not to that extent, but I do also agree that even the commentators made it seem like it was worthless. And I was like, especially during the Sabrina and Steph portion, I was like, what are you guys even talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
that was terrible by
Kenny.
Kenny
Yeah,
to
and I
say
was like,
that. And I think we'll talk a little bit about that because basically, I don't know if you did not hear at home, Kenny basically came out and said, Sabrina, maybe you'd be playing better if you were shooting with a woman's ball or shooting behind the line. And that's ridiculous because she was nailing threes.
She
had
tied Damian
yeah,
Lillard.
Tied Damian Lillard.
That
She
won the
was up
contest
there
at
with
26.
NBA players.
She
and-
would have probably beat Damian
She would
Lillard.
have, yeah. And I don't why would you say that in front of a national audience? That is the most disrespectful thing I've ever heard because she's a great WNBA player. She's one of the best in their entire league.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
She's the face of the WNBA.
she
right
is
now.
the face of the WNBA.
And the original
yeah.
rules had her shooting from the WNBA 3-point line, and she herself wanted to
screw
shoot
it.
from.
She's like, nah, I'm shooting
She said,
3-point line in the
"Screw
NBA.
that."
And she kept up with Curry too. It's not
Yeah.
even like it was it's not like Curry hit 100. Like,
No, Curry didn't hit 100. Curry had a heck of an outing.
Yeah,
but
29,
still.
yeah.
So did Sabrina. And
Exactly.
that's what I just don't understand is why she got so much hate for being on there, because she was right up there with Damian Lillard, which she said she shot better than some of the guys. I think she shot better than Tyrese Halliburton, who was the star because he was the Pacers.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the best portion of the All-Star break.
It was.
was.
Yes.
It really was, because people actually cared about
Exactly.
that.
Like, there were clear stakes. Clearly, Steph and Sabrina both cared about it. And I think that's what the All-Star break, it's what makes those events possible and what makes those events good. The players actually caring about it and actually putting in an effort in their respective events.
And they're not. That's why the NBA All-Star break is a joke. And that's why a whole lot of the All-Star breaks are a joke. I'm not going to get into the other ones because it's basketball, but the NFL, Pro Bowl games, it's an absolute joke. And the NHL, nobody watches the NHL All-Star game. The only one I watch is the MLB because the Home Run Derby. I just think that's cool. But I used to love the NBA dunk contest because I loved watching like Aaron Gordon jump over the Orlando Magic guard, having that 360 behind the look dunk. And now you have G Leaguers who I've never even heard of making livings off of a dunk contest trophy.
What happened?
Look,
What happened? Why do we have G Leaguers? This is not the G League contest.
look.
That's what
This
the,
is the NBA
that's what the
dunk
Rising
contest.
Stars is for.
Yeah, this is the rising star. He's not a rising star. I think he's like 26 or something like that. He's been in the G League for forever because he sucks.
Okay.
But he can dunk the ball, and that's why he won the G. That's why he won it twice. That's why he won the dunk contest.
I'm gonna have a completely different thing. I do know, like, yes, we gotta get actual NBA stars and all that back in this dunk contest. I'm gonna say this: the actual dunks in this year dunk contest was actually good dunks. The problem was that, like you guys mentioned, the commentary was not good.
Terrible.
The judges
Not
were
good.
not good
No one
at
cares.
all.
No one
McClung-
watching cares.
Yeah, Mac McClung's first dunk, I don't think people realize actually like how good and hard of a dunk that was.
Yeah.
The
It was
guy
a great
jumped
dunk.
over the guy, picked up the ball, tried to do a reverse dunk, let go of the ball, and then re-grabbed it, got possession, and then do the dunk. The guy got a 46 from one of the judges.
like,
that right there alone basically got the crowd out of the dunk contest. Because Jacob Doppin had cool dunks, Sami Highcast had cool dunks, and then like we mentioned, Jaylen Brown. I mean, yes, it was kind of fun to watch him finally
Logan's guy,
dunk with the
Sami
ball with
Highcast.
his left hand. Because the joke is that he doesn't have a left hand, so he finally jumped over a guy, grabbed the ball, and dunked with his left hand. But the fact we only had 150, I mean, I don't know. It's just the
boring.
dunks weren't bad, but I think the atmosphere,
should
the
expect
fans, the
star power.
commentary,
It's the same
judges.
dunks though every year.
I mean,
like, you
yeah.
look at it, you can. I mean,
It's
not
tough to do new dunks.
It's
Yeah,
tough
it really
to do
is.
dunks. It is, but try to make it more interesting. Don't be dunking over Kai Cenat when he's like 5'1"
In a chair.
In a chair,
Man,
he's short.
you sound like
it's easy to dunk over him. I could dunk over him. Anybody here could dunk over him. It's not that hard. But
Maybe
like,
if he was,
make
like,
it interesting.
standing
Put some
on the
actual
chair.
NBA talent on the floor for the NBA All-Star game. I know that's unbelievable to fathom that we have G Leaguers.
Hey,
in
Jason
NBA.
Tatum was technically on the court during the dunk contest.
Yeah. And so was Giannis with his Google Pixel, taking pictures, which is, that was just funny. But
Maybe Giannis should have competed in the dunk contest.
He did
well,
a
he
while
is
ago.
running dunk guy, so he'd be good at it.
Exactly.
That will do it for our basketball segment. As next we have music and entertainment. You are listening to the Ball and Beats podcast. Don't go anywhere.
I see you guys have made it to this point of the video, and you still haven't gone to ballandbeatshop.com? Y'all need to pause that video right now and go get some B&B merch. Shout out to the best cameraman, Willie T. You can use his custom discount code WillieT4 for 30% off all your t-shirts at the Ball and Beat shop. Willie T looks good in his B&B merch, and he can make you look even better. It would also look great if you guys went and hit that subscribe button. We thank you guys so much for your support. Now back to the action.
And welcome back to the Ball and Beats podcast. This is our entertainment segment. We're going to have a quicker one today. David's obviously out, and overall, it just wasn't a super busy week in the entertainment space. So I figured we'd just have an open discussion about what we've been listening to lately. I know it's kind of early on in the year, so maybe you guys are listening to some new releases lately. I'll start with Alan. What have you been listening to?
he's not. He's kind of new, but I've been starting to get into the Mexican OT rapper. I've been finding these Texas
Okay.
rappers. I've been listening to Big X the Plug as well.
He's actually
So-
pretty good. I like him.
So I've been trying to get some new rappers, and they kind of popped up on my DJ one day, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just go listen to their catalog. So I've been really going through and listening. They got some fans from me now.
Okay. You've been listening to Spotify DJ.
Yes, I have. Shout out Spotify DJ.
Honestly, I can say the same for myself. I wasn't a huge fan of the feature when it first started, but I've been utilizing it. It's been kind of nice for me lately. How about you, Aaron?
So anything new releases? No.
Definitely not. Aaron.
That is not me. I will do occasional new release now and then, but a lot of time when I listen to music because I'm driving, doing stuff, so I just like to listen to songs I kind of know. But I was using Spotify DJ, and it started playing songs from like the 60s. It was playing the Temptations, and honestly, God, I didn't even care.
Hey, Temptation.
Hey,
Like
I was gonna say, shout
I
out
was like
Temptations.
jamming out to it. Like
I
it
know
was
Logan
like
knows about
Stand
the
By Me,
Temptations.
Temptations, so good. Like I was enjoying it, but yeah.
This is no longer ball and beats. This is ball and strings.
Yes, it really is. Yeah. Bro's gonna go back to Beethoven and Mozart days. Really.
I have listened to orchestra before.
Orchestra?
I have.
Nice. For me, well, recently, I've been a little bit in my feelings recently, Rod Wave, The Great Gatsby, great song off his newest project. Polo G, gotta go back to my guy, of course, Polo G. Just, excellent song. Martin Gina type songs,
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that great song. I've also been massive on my UK music as well recently.
Hey, I love that.
Everyone knows
That sounds right.
Central C, Dig a D, Pump 101, if you know, you know.
Okay.
Day in the Life, There's other better songs by Central C, I believe, but, been, depending on what the vibe's been recently, it's kind of been controlling what I've been listening to.
That's what's up. For me, I have recently gotten into the little bit of indie folk lately.
Whoa.
Been listening to some Noah Khan. This guy, let me tell you guys, Noah Khan, that's where it's at. Started listening to him in around November, but his album Sixth Season, big fan of that one, and he just released a single Forever. Really, really big fan of that song. Other than that, I mean, the usual, the Drakes, the Kanyes, most rap under the sun. But specifically, I have been listening to a few new releases this year. 21's album, been bumping that. That's been in the rotation. All of me off of that track list. That's a standout for me. That's one of the best songs of the year. Other than that, I mean, we talked Vultures last week. Still remains in the rotation.
You know what's been on the rotation as well for me is that Lyrical Lemonade album.
I still have yet to give that a listen.
Equilibrium. I'm surprising myself here with G Herbo and Babytron. I'm not gonna lie, probably one of Babytron's best songs he's been on.
Okay.
One of my favorite songs off that album probably is my favorite actually. The one with Chief Keef and Lil Yachty as well. That's been a really good project. I think it's one of the better ones to start this year off so far.
Yeah. So I'll have to check out that Babytron. I know we've had discussions about Babytron
On this
past.
podcast,
we
and you know
definitely
how
have.
I have feel in
Exactly.
You know
particular.
how I feel
So
about Babytron.
you've come some way ever since then.
Okay.
You've come around on Babytron.
The thing is about Babytron, right? Here's the thing about him. I love his voice. I think his voice sounds great.
Okay.
I just don't like the cadence and the flow that he attacks a beat in because it's so offbeat for me that it doesn't always sound right. Now, when he's on a song that it's pretty on beat, I love it. He sounds really good on those. I would actually say he would probably be one of my favorites because his voice is really nice. If it was on a consistent basis.
I do agree. I forgot the name of the song. It kind of just popped up one day, and I actually liked it. And it is a Babytron feature. It's the song of JID, Lil Yachty, and Babytron. Honestly, I'm not the biggest Babytron fan, but on that song, it was really good.
go.
So
He has his moments.
He
I like
does.
to hate on him, but he has his moments.
he
Okay,
does have his moments.
even the blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Exactly. I've also been bumping Beyonce lately. Not gonna lie. I love me
always,
some.
over
I love me
Yes.
some Beyonce.
Always. And just to wrap things up for me, Yeats album. I mean, we talked.
No.
We talked it
no.
last week, and
I might leave now.
we've got Logan facepalming again. I mean, come on, Logan. You have to just give it a chance.
No.
Because this is definitely one of Yeats' more experimental albums, but so far I've been really enjoying it. 2093, really great album. And Vultures, I mean, another.
Shout out the comments on TikTok about you. Definitely look like a Yeet fan.
That was funny.
Whoever commented I looked like a Yeet fan on TikTok, Good comment. I don't appreciate it, though. That will do it for this week's music and entertainment segment. Coming up next, we got more Ball and Beats podcast coming your way. How have y'all not listened to Logan yet? How could you not go to the best merchandise website in existence? You guys are missing out on the highest quality of products on the market. You might wonder what we have on ballandbeatshop.com. Well, we have warm hoodies, comfortable t-shirts, icy long sleeves and crew necks, all in different colorways. You can keep your toes warm with the Ball and Beats socks. You can plaster stickers all over your laptops and cars. We got it all. A reminder to go to ballandbeatshop.com to help support the crew. Now, watch me get this question wrong.
And welcome back to the second installment on the video side of the podcast of the Michigan Mid-Off. It's been too many to count for how many that we've done, so I'm not going to count them. So last week,
17th.
both of you got it wrong again.
Unsurprisingly.
Yeah,
Unsurprising.
it's
That's why we call it the
unsurprising.
Michigan Mid-Off.
You know, I'm just glad that I get to do it with my good friend Christian.
Hey,
You know,
now-
it's just fun.
Now that we're next to each other, get this shot. Good luck.
Good luck,
Absolutely.
Christian.
Good luck today.
Couldn't shake your hand last week, but here we are.
We're in this
And
together.
they won't shake their hand because they're both going to get this wrong again. So, for all of you who weren't here last week, what was wrong with you? I'll go over the rules one more time. So, I ask our beloved Michigan fans a Michigan question, whether it's football or basketball. Today, we're talking about hoops.
Yikes.
Talking
Oh,
about men's
boy.
basketball. So, I know Michigan fans don't want to talk about their basketball team.
Hopefully
this
not
year.
this season.
Oh
You know-
boy, they suck. So we're gonna get into that, but we have a little twist.
What?
If both of you don't get, so in this term, more than 3, both of you don't get more than 3, I turn it over to the Buckeye fan, and if he can get more than you guys, he gets a point, and you get none.
Well, that's an interesting wrinkle, but I'm confident in Alan and I to get this done.
I'm not. So let's get into the
Wow.
question. All right. So this is one of the most famous teams of Michigan basketball.
Okay.
Name as many players as you can of the Fabulous 5.
Juwan Howard.
That's one.
Are we working together?
You
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, we're going to work
So we
together.
can work
on this.
together.
They can work together.
This
They can
one,
work
I'd
together
say
for
this
this
one,
one,
Fab
yes.
Five, I'd
They
say
can work
so,
together
yeah.
for this one, yes.
Juwan Howard, the current coach.
Chris Webber.
2. Oh man, we're on a hot streak now.
You've got 3 more. and they
Jalen
only need
Rose.
one more. Okay,
That's 3.
that's
Yeah.
3.
That's
I
3.
don't know the other 2.
You don't know the other 2?
Oh, they're
Okay.
on Twitter. Crap. Yeah, I don't.
Nothing?
I can't remember the other 2.
Okay. So I'm gonna give Christian and you a point.
All right.
Since you
Yes,
both worked
sir.
together,
I'm not
they
gonna lie.
finally got a question right, and
Let's
they had
go.
to work together, of course.
I could
Change the
help you
graphic.
out.
Change the
Yeah,
graphic.
it's not a mid-off.
I can help
It
you
is
with
still
one of
middle.
them, at least. I believe Glenn Rice as well was one of them,
Who?
if I can remember correctly.
Nope.
No? Oh, well, that's
Oh,
bad.
well,
Hey,
shit.
hey, it's the
So,
Ohio State
I'll go-
mid-off.
Yes, sir.
I'll go through
More
it.
than him.
The Ohio
So
State
you had
mid-off, I
Jalen
guess.
Rose,
Yeah.
Chris Webber, Jawan Howard, Jimmy King,
Howard.
and Ray Jackson.
Ray Jackson.
I forgot about Ray Jackson.
would've
I ain't
never-
gonna
would've
lie.
Juwan
never
Howard.
guessed this,
Juwan
dude.
Howard. Yeah.
Shout out Jawan Howard for that dumpster fire of a program up in
Yikes.
Ann Arbor.
You know, it is really quickly, it is one because I saw the projected Big Ten championship. It'd have Michigan as a 14th seed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They're what are they
We're
like?
s-
What are they like? 8 and 18?
Football
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
Football
yeah.
school.
Yikes!
Football school.
Football school.
Yeah,
It
You
is.
should have asked them a football question. You know, this something they just won a national
Okay.
championship in.
But
They
it-
probably
but
would have gotten that one wrong.
It'll be football next
It's hoop
week.
season. It's hoop season.
It is hoop
It
season.
is hoop season.
It's
but
hoop season.
We don't believe in the word off season around here at the Ball and Beats podcast.
We don't. But that is do it for the second installment of the video cast of the Michigan Mid-Off. We will be back next week for the third installment. We'll be right back with our hot takes.
Would you look at that? Another discount code. You know we weren't done yet. Shout out to Toledo star basketball player Raheem Moss for being a brand ambassador for the Ball and Beats podcast. You can use Raheem's code Moss $0 for 15% off with a minimum purchase of $25 at ballandbeatshop.com. If Raheem is a fan of our merch, we know you will be too. Now, it's hot take time.
and welcome back here to the Ball and Beats podcast, where it is currently sizzling in the studio, as it is time for a brand new segment, our hot take segment.
Yes,
it can
sir.
be about sports, it can be about music, it can be about anything you really want it to be.
Ooh.
There are some rules to the hot take segment.
What is that in
here.
front of you?
What's this right here? Okay. Well then, what this is some hot sauce. If someone agrees with your hot take,
Even one person.
even one person, that's not a hot take, is it?
No, it's not.
So, if someone agrees with your take, you have to take a little taste of some habanero hot sauce.
So I
Ooh,
can
spicy.
just say something egregious,
Yeah.
like the Colorado Rockies are winning the World Series.
It has to be something you believe.
Okay,
Something
all right.
you
I know,
believe.
yeah.
And whoever, if you're saying you agree or disagree, it's honesty. It's the honesty policy. You have to be honest. You can't just be like, oh, I agree just to get someone to eat some hot sauce.
Yeah.
You have to agree with the take.
Yeah, exactly.
So while we're at it, we might as well start off down the table here with Mr. Christian.
All right.
Yes, sir.
What's that hot take, sir?
All right, guys. The hot take that I prepared for you guys today is something that I've been passionate about for quite some time. This is the Ball and Beats podcast. I'm not going ball. I'm not going beats. I'm going all the way over in the food realm.
Ooh.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I like it.
But we're not talking restaurants. We're talking home cooking.
Ooh, sizzling, home sizzling.
So, my hot take for this week is air fryers are just glorified ovens. And when I say that, I mean microwave ovens. When you look at an air fryer, they came out maybe 2 or 3 years ago. An air fryer, what does it do? It doesn't fry your food. There's no oil involved. What does that remind you of? An oven, maybe even a small oven. What is the difference? Okay, maybe it's a little bit higher powered, but an air fryer is no different than a microwave oven. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. I'm sorry to any of you air fryer owners out there, but you are getting completely ripped off.
I own an air fryer.
We have 2 air fryers
My
where we
sisters
live.
have.
I think at this point, most of America owns an air fryer,
Yes.
and this air fryer industry is getting completely out
God,
of
you have such a hatred for air fryers.
Oh my goodness.
as a amateur cook myself, it is spitting in the face to all microwave oven
But like,
users.
you don't want to preheat your oven, so it takes too long to preheat ovens.
God.
And if you want like some nice chicken tenders that you got frozen from, Kroger, Walmart, anywhere, you want to throw that in the air fryer because it takes like 10 minutes. It takes half an hour in the oven because you have to preheat it.
I'm
and
saying
you gotta
mi-
put
I'm
it
saying
in.
a
And you gotta flip them.
I'm saying
and you gotta take 'em
microwave
out.
oven, one of those little small ovens.
Toaster oven?
Yes, that's the word.
Toaster oven?
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
Christian.
Okay.
I call it a microwave oven. Yes.
Christian's really passionate about this one. Oh my
So,
goodness.
so what do you guys think?
What do I think?
Seems Spencer's disagrees.
Yeah, Spencer, what do you think first?
I disagree, man. Because air fryers are their own thing.
Okay.
It's not an oven. It's an air fryer. It uses air.
So it's an oven.
Yeah.
And not the way an air fryer uses air. It's different.
Okay.
It also takes less time than an oven.
Sure. That I admitted that. It's a higher powered what is it? Toaster oven.
Toaster oven.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
What do you guys think? Alan?
I feel like one of us should just say yes just for him to have the
No.
hot
Yeah, I know, right?
No. That's in the
No.
rules.
No, I'm not gonna do that just so you can have hot sauce. I do also disagree with you.
Yes.
Because the problem is like I enjoy air fryer food. It's so good and it's good.
delicious.
The thing is,
Simpleton.
it's convenient.
sauce.
Like-
Simpleton. We want like fine cuisines in your dorm room or something.
Yes,
He's
exactly.
gonna be one of those guys that you see on TikTok who like chefs up a whole.
He's making it all in the crock pot
That's
and all
what I'm
this stuff
saying.
He's
while
got
he's
the crock
watching.
pot that's
Like-
sitting on his
like,
lap while he's on his
If I'm
laptop.
tired at night, you think I'm gonna like
You
wait
don't
for an
wanna
oven to heat
preheat,
up?
that's 15 minutes.
Yes.
Then you gotta put it in for another 20.
Exactly.
Then you gotta take it out. When I just throw it in the air fryer for 10 minutes, boom, it's done.
Exactly, and then I can eat dinner and be happy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You
Logan?
guys
You're not you when you're hungry.
enjoy your air fryers.
Logan?
Well, I get some of your points. I do get some of your points. I believe that what you're saying is not the truth. I do disagree with you. I do believe that an air fryer is an air fryer, and it must be left as an air fryer because it fries air.
I mean,
That's not how it works, obviously.
but we get what you're saying. We get
Exactly.
what you're saying.
All right, well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a proper hot take. Who's
Alan,
up next?
let's hear it.
My hot take. We're gonna transition out of food and back into what we are known for, sports. My biggest hot take: LeBron James will never win another NBA championship in his career as long as he's on the Los Angeles Lakers. I do not think that they will get there. I don't think that they will ever get to the finals again. Maybe they do, but I don't think he'll ever win another ring with the Lakers.
Get ready.
I agree.
Tell him get the spoons ready.
Tell them to get
I
the
mean,
spoons
come
ready
on.
because I think all of us will agree with that because the Lakers are a dysfunctional
Pass
franchise
it
right
down.
now.
Yeah.
Pass it down.
So here's that.
Not sure that's a hot take.
That is not open yet.
I'm surprised many of you didn't just defend that.
I'm
Why would he?
not-
What is
no.
this? The team sucks.
I'm one of the biggest LeBron fans out there. I
Decent
think
amount.
he's the greatest player of all time, but I just
Decent
don't
amount.
think.
Wow,
in
that's
the-
such a decent amount.
In this current Lakers
Bro.
situation, I don't think he wins another.
Bro,
one.
that's not a
I don't
decent
think he wins.
amount.
I don't think that's good. That's good. That's good.
Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
that's a decent amount.
Hold on,
Oh
get a
my
close
God.
up on this.
Bro,
Get a
what
close
the
up.
heck is
Someone get a
this?
close up. What are cameras here?
hot spicy foods. It don't matter for you.
Bro said, let me get it. No. No,
full
look at me over here. This man, Spencer, just said, let me get a decent amount on there. Bro literally pours half a cap in there.
You like spicy food.
I do like spicy food, but my
Here
goodness,
comes
bro.
the airplane.
I'll put here. I'll do two.
Oh, I can smell it. It's getting hotter in here.
Just put it down.
You got it, Alan.
You got it.
Bon
you,
appetit,
You
you
like
know?
spicy food. You're
Let's
fine.
see. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I see.
Of course. Of course.
I think there's some more.
Of course
Don't let
it's good.
don't
Of
let
course
those
it's
at
good.
home know
Yeah,
this,
so
but
we're just
I saw a
gonna-
little
we're
bit of
just
hot
gonna-
sauce left on
you know
that
what?
spoon.
We're just gonna
saying.
leave it down here.
All right, well, that was actually pretty good, though.
That was such an L reaction,
No,
by the way.
oh,
Oh,
it was
that's
good.
good. There you go. No,
For real.
no struggle, no pain, no nothing. I see. I told you, you like spicy stuff. That's why I put a little
We
extra on
get
there
it,
for you.
Alan. You're cool.
You go to B-Dubs, you
Bro.
get the hottest wing sauce there.
No, second hottest. But anyways,
Oh yeah. Flex.
I would
Flex
say
on
that
them.
would actually make some good wing sauce, though. I might have to try that.
You're not sponsored by whatever brand that is.
Yeah, whatever
so.
brand this is, if you want to sponsor the Ball and Beats podcast, you know where to find us. Bro just moves the whole desk. And all the
Yellow
audio just
Bird.
got
We are
messed
not
up.
sponsored by Yellow Bird.
Spencer, you're up next.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep going with sports. Just not an egregious take like he did.
I passionately agreed. I actually,
J.J. McCarthy. Oh, that beloved Michigan man
Go.
that all Buckeye fans love. He's gonna go in the top 5 this year. He's gonna be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft.
Wow. That's massive. Why is that? Why do you think?
Because he has just continuously gone up and up and up, and I think with a combine, I think he's got a great personality. He's going to have great interviews, and someone, maybe New England, will take him at 3, or someone like Las Vegas will trade up to 5 and take him there.
I know he's been hot. I can't agree with that though. I think maybe there's a small chance that he does slide in that top 5. Maybe it's like one of those Baker Mayfield moments. But for me, I just can't really see him going above some of the other quarterbacks.
you know,
Alan, the pondering.
I am pondering because I kind of want you to have some hot sauce. The only problem is that I just think he's a top 10. I wouldn't call him a top 5 quarterback in the draft. I'd call him a top 10, not top 5. And I love J.J. McCarthy, but
I don't. Logan?
Oh.
No. I am doing this just for my own gang. So,
give him some, I was going to say,
cheers.
this.
Wait, what?
I thought you were going
I
to
disagree with you.
Why'd you do that?
Why'd I do that? Because it's hot.
He was
It was
trying.
my turn.
He was trying to throw you off.
I'm trying to throw you off, exactly.
Fine, give me a spoon. I'll take some.
Oh, will you actually?
Well,
Oh,
just
ladies and
Just
gentlemen,
I'll have a
This segment-
celebratory
this
shot of hot
this
sauce
segment
because
is completely
that's hot.
falling apart as these fellows are clearly not honoring the rules.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's very much how.
You know what? If we're all getting hot sauce,
Hey, yeah,
pass
give me-
a spoon
give me-
down. Pass a
Here, give me-
spoon down.
How hot is that, Spencer? How hot is that, Spencer?
Oh God.
It's okay though.
Tell me when to
But yeah, just so you know, I do
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good.
I do disagree. There's no.
If Spencer is freaking out this much, this is not going to go great for me.
All right, Christian, let's see it.
Oh God.
Oh God, part two. It
tastes terrible.
Part two. Oh God, part two.
Wow, what a hot take segment.
What a hot take segment. Everyone's getting hot today, and that's okay because I disagree.
Yay!
I disagree. So congrats
didn't
on
you
eating
guys
the
have
hot
hot
sauce. Why?
Why is there no
It
water
worked.
here?
It worked. I just want you all to know behind the scenes, it worked. My deliberate plan has worked. Beautiful.
Oh, Logan hasn't even done his hot take.
No, I haven't.
Spencer's crying.
I need some water. Hurry up.
So my hot take is going back to the quarterbacks in the combine. You heard what I had to say about Bo Nix. I think someone is going to go and take him in the top 3. I think Bo Nix is going to be the biggest climber of all these quarterbacks. He's going in the top 3. New England at number 3. That's where Bo Nix goes.
Sure, I agree.
I disagree, but you already took the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Take another shot. I agree.
Yeah, take another
He's
shot.
completely dishonoring the rules.
I don't know whose it is, but I'm
We're
just
completely against everything, but it's okay.
See?
Oh my
Contact.
God.
This hot sauce tastes terrible.
Yeah, why'd you guys say it tastes good?
Because it did.
Because I only had a
I'm
little
fine.
bit of it.
Yeah, you had a little bit. You see how much you gave me?
I gave you the same amount.
Well, does that do it for the hot takes?
Yeah.
That does it.
That does it for your hot takes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. It's episode 97
And watching.
and watching the Ball and Beats podcast.
You should have let me or Logan finish that.
Please like, subscribe, and hit that push notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos. We will see you guys. We will see you guys next week. Take care. We're signing off. Have a great rest of your week.